Hello, people of YouTube and beyond. My name is Michael Lambert, and I am the Archangel 12345. I guess you already know that. You've probably already seen some of my videos, poetry on there or not, whatever. But I've decided that since I have become such a successful writer, that I am going to be making videos with tips on writing, poetry, prose, essays, whatever, stuff like that. But first few videos that I'm going to make are going to be for the English AP exam, which is coming up in about a month here in Alabama. So I've decided I'm going to be doing that, as well as my other videos that I'm going to be doing, writing tips in general. This first video is going to be on essays, because I know that's where a lot of people that I've talked to have had trouble with essays because they're scared of the time limit. And from all the experience I've had with workshops that I've been to and online research that I've done, as well as being a writer, the time limit is 2 hours, so you have to get a lot done in that time. One of the first things that I found out when I actually started doing practice for the AP English exam was 2 hours is actually a lot of time to write. You just have to know how to organize it. So this first tip is going to be, choosing the right essay, the one that's easiest for you, because at the beginning you get 15 minutes of reading time, meaning you have 15 minutes to go through each essay, the synthesis, argument, and rhetorical analysis. So what you should do is you should go through each one, and you shouldn't read everything. You should just scan over it. And my personal preference is always the synthesis essay. The synthesis essay is always the easiest because 1, you have your prompt. 2, you have your sources that are already there. You can scan through those. And 3, it's simply the easiest one to incorporate. That's the one you're probably going to get most points on, because if you don't know a lot about the topic, the synthesis essay, it gives you sources to help you. The one that I would choose next that I've personally done is the argument essay, because, let's face it, everybody knows how to argue one way or another. Even if you're not a formal writer, or you're not the greatest writer in the world. I'm not the greatest writer in the world, and I've been writing for 12 years. The argument essay is the second easiest one to do, because the prompt pretty much tells you 2 sides, and you're supposed to take that side, and you're supposed to either, defend, qualify, or refute it. By the way, I wouldn't qualify it. I would either just refute it or, defend it. Those are the easiest 2, and the majority of people do that. Anyway, though, the argument essay, you have your own voice, but for that one, it's a little bit harder because you have to actually understand the prompt, and you have to incorporate things from your own life, and you don't have any sources at all. And that's that prompt. So that's the one I would do next, simply because you can do it, and you don't have to really analyze much, like that. So that's the one I would do next. The third one, the final one, is the rhetorical analysis essay, which is arguably the hardest one. A lot of people I don't know if a lot of people think this, but I do. I do personally because 1, you have to read the prompt. 2, you have to read through the entire passage or poem or whatever they give you, and then you have to annotate it. You have to figure out what devices they're using, stylistically, what methods they're using to, to make the audience understand their point of view and their argument, and things like that. And that's a little bit harder than your own argument and synthesis essay, where you have sources. Everything is much harder because you're making your own argument. 2, you're also analyzing their argument, which is a bit harder. So I would do it in that order. Also, what you want to make sure you do, you want to time yourself on each one, because 2 hours, I say it's a lot of time. To write things down if you organize everything right. Meaning for each one, what you should do is in the 15 minutes when you scan it, you should just jot a few notes down for each one to make sure you have an idea or a rough idea of how you're going to write it. You should choose your first, you should choose your first essay, synthesis, whatever it would be, and you start writing that. Then when you're finished with that one, you only want to take about 40 minutes on that. So I'd have a timer or a watch or something like that that I could use to time myself with it. You want to take about 40-45 minutes on each one total, so you have that time to finish it up. Yeah, what was the thing? Oh, right. You should only take 40-45 minutes on each one, right? So you should time yourself on that, and then after you're done with each essay, when you get to the next essay, what you need to do is take a few minutes to look over it more thoroughly. Like, think about it for a few minutes, for about 5 minutes, or maybe not even 5 minutes, like 2 or 3 minutes, to, gather all your thoughts on the topic, garner, get your side of the argument, your points, just think about your points roughly, and, maybe write a rough thesis out real quick. And then after those 2 minutes or 3 minutes are up, or however long you take, you shouldn't take long though, you just start writing it. That's the best thing I could tell you on that part. Because if you just keep writing, and you do the ones that are best for you first, you're going to finish those. And then the hardest one, if it's the rhetorical analysis for you like it is for me sometimes, then you have more time for it if you just keep writing, because they won't mark off as much if you just keep writing, because usually longer essays, they get points if you're trying. And if they're trying, you'll probably get a 5 or 6, and that's really, to get a 3 or 4 in the exam, that's really what you want. And of course I'm going to aim for a 5, but not all people are going to get 5s. Some people are going to get 3s, 2s, 1s, 4s, or whatever. But that's pretty much, those are just tips for the essay portion. I'll have more detail on each one. So thanks for listening, and I'll be back with you soon. I'll probably be doing this 2 or 3 times a week now until the actual AP exam. I'll probably post one the night before. I'll be up studying for all my other ones too, but whatever. Also, I have, I don't know if I've said this on here before. Actually, no, I haven't. I've published 4 books of poetry now. I will have links to that at the bottom of the screen or whatever, so you can click it and see them. And I have my own blog that'll be down there too, and I'll be having tips on there as well. So just go to those 2 or contact me. I'll put my email down here too. Contact me if you want to talk to me about it. And I'm also offering English tutoring lessons, AP study sessions, like by ourselves or in small groups, if you want to do that for a small fee, because I have a lot of things to do and I actually need to make some extra money now, so there's that. But all that's good. So thanks for listening, and I will be back with you soon.